Hello, everybody, and welcome to Thrive, where I believe you were not created to survive, but to thrive. And if you change yourself, you can change your world. I'm Alex Sagat, your host, and I'm glad that you are back with us. If you don't know about Thrive, it's a podcast about life, leadership, lifestyles, and sometimes we'll do leadership episodes like this. Other times we'll have guests, but we are just thankful that you are listening today or watching today. And if you can, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe. Thank you to all of our subscribers, the whole Thrive family, all the Thrivers. We just believe God did not place us on this earth to get by with a survival type of mentality, but to thrive, to excel at whatever it is that he's called us to. And today I believe that no matter what you're up against, you can thrive. So hit subscribe, leave us a comment. Where are you watching from? Anything that I'm learning, anything I'm trying to apply, I want to be faithful to pass it on. Today's episode, I've titled it The Crazy God. The Crazy God. If you're somewhere where you can take some notes, maybe you want to write that down. The Crazy God. And recently, me and my wife, we lead Calvary Church, a church here in South Florida, in Miami. If you're ever in the area, pass by and visit us. Shout out to all of our dream team and all of our leadership team. But at some point last year, I shared this in our big team night. We have a dream team now of about 800 people. It's absolutely amazing. The best of the best people, and they're sweet and gracious and kind. But we shared this at a leadership night. This is a night where we want everybody to come in, and we're going to talk about spirit, culture, and leadership. And I was listening to a message maybe about 2 years ago, and I heard this for a quick moment, and it inspired this thought in this teaching, The Crazy God. And I shared this with our leadership team, with our serve team, with our dream team. And it was an amazing night. And it really hopefully gets us to think a little bit about how God is, and it'll make us better leaders because of that. The Crazy God. Here's what I want you to know. You are chosen before you are qualified, and you are called before you are complete. You are chosen before you are qualified, and you are called before you are complete. God does not choose like we choose, because God is not building a team. He's building a testimony. I want you to know that. God does not choose like we choose, because God is not building just a team. He's building a testimony. If God chose you because you were perfect, he wouldn't get the glory. If God chose me because I was perfect, he wouldn't get the glory. He's using us, flawed people. He's using broken people. He's using jars of clay so that the potter would get the glory. Obviously, you think about teams. I think it was at some point last year, I was watching this basketball kind of special where the team that won gold in our last Olympics, our USA team, was talking about just some of the memories of them going to Paris and winning the gold medal in Paris. And we had a really good Olympic team several years ago, and we won the gold in Paris. And they were talking about each other, and they were talking about you just see this team. They're the best of the best. They're the biggest, the strongest, the tallest. They are just absolutely an incredible team. And it would be hard to think about them losing, because they are literally so talented and complete in any kind of area. And so I was thinking about this team, and it made me think about when we were either in elementary school or middle school or whatever, and whether you were playing in school or whether you were playing in your neighborhood, if you had to pick a team, you would pick the team that would best help you and serve you win the gold or win the game. And so, for example, if I was the captain of a basketball team, I'm like, okay, I'm going to look at 10 guys here. Which one would I pick to be on my team? I'm going to pick the biggest. I'm going to pick the fastest, the tallest, the ones that I think can rebound, the ones that I think can shoot, the ones that are going to be high, over, and above the competition. That's how we pick. But it's crazy, because that's not how God picks. God picks differently. God wouldn't pick a 3-foot Alex over, I wouldn't pick a 3-foot Alex over a 7-foot Kevin Durant. No, I'll pick Kevin Durant over 3-foot Alex because Kevin Durant would shoot better, but that's not how God picks. There's a scripture in the book of Matthew where he lists all the disciples that Jesus picked. And in that list, he lists people like Peter. He lists people like Matthew. He lists people like James and John. And he lists people like Judas. And that scripture is kind of wild to me, because Jesus picked people that he knew were betrayers, cowards, hot-tempered, robbers. Peter would end up betraying him 3 times. James and John were hot-tempered and wanted to call down fire on a city. Judas would end up betraying him. Matthew was a tax collector who was known for robbing their own people. And yet this is who Jesus picks on his team. Jesus picked people who needed him. God has a pattern. He chooses the least likely to display the most glory. And so I want us to think about that because that means he chose you. Whatever leadership role it is that you have, here we are on Thrive, where we are all trying to thrive as leaders. Today, whether you're leading, maybe you're leading a small family, maybe you're leading a large family, maybe you're leading a small business, maybe a church, maybe a large Fortune 500 company, he chose you. Whether you're a pastor, a leader, a husband, a father, a son, or a daughter, he chose you. And he chose you because he wants to get the most glory. We think God chooses like we choose, but he doesn't. We disqualify ourselves before God ever does because these are the results that we live with. We live with shame. We live with guilt. We live with playing small. We live with losing boldness. We live with losing awe. Right? Like these are the kind of thoughts and things that linger in our life. And when that happens, we disqualify ourselves. But the Bible tells us in 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 27, God chose the foolish things of the world to shame the wise. John chapter 15, verse 16 says, you did not choose me, but I chose you. Leadership doesn't start with your confidence. It starts with God's choosing. Come on, that's a good place right there for us to become leaders who thrive. Whether you're part of Calvary's dream team, whether you're part of our leadership team, or whatever leadership capacity you have all over the world, I want you to know leadership doesn't start with your confidence. Yes, you should be a confident leader, but it begins with God's choosing. When I realize God chose me, it helps me be more confident. It helps me to live under the grace. It helps me to live knowing that I have a purpose, that I am chosen. Today, you need to live this way. He doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the call. He doesn't wait for perfection, he calls you into process. This God chose me, so I'm fully committed because I'm fully chosen. Today, if you're a leader, wherever you are, you need to be fully committed because you are fully chosen. Come on, we have a crazy God. Why don't you put that in a comment somewhere? The crazy God. Why don't you text somebody right now and say, do you know we have a crazy God? Come on, look at your coworker on the other cubicle. Just shake your head at them and tell them we have a crazy God. How would he pick us? Incomplete, imperfect, people that are not consistent. He does it because he's crazy and because he calls us to process. He's at work in us. This is going to make us better leaders because when you understand this, three things. I want you to write this down. Short episode today. We have a crazy God. Again, maybe one day I'll do the full teaching like I did with our leadership team of almost an hour, but I just want to give you 3 quick points with this. When we understand this, that God is a crazy God who calls us and chooses us in spite of, number one, it causes us to go further. Go further. Somebody say, go further. Yeah. When you understand you are chosen, flaws and all, when you understand you are chosen, you go further. You were given authority before you felt ready. You were given authority before you felt ready. Matthew chapter 10, verse 1 says he gave them authority, his disciples, Judas included, Peter included, Matthew included, James and John included. He gave them authority. Credentials don't make leaders, commitment does. Authority comes before maturity, right? Like God gives us sometimes authority before we're ready for it. And he's trusting us before we trust ourselves. He's putting us in places that we think we don't belong in. When you understand this, you'll go further. You'll be like, oh, wait, I'm called. I'm chosen. That's going to make me a better leader. Calling comes before clarity. Right? God calls us before we even know the full picture. He's like, I called you. I chose you. Come on, if we're going to be leaders who thrive, today know that he called you. He chose you. What does that mean then? Today, you're able to step into rooms you feel unready for. You're able to lead in a family with courage. You're able to lead in your workplace with conviction. You're able to go further in prayer, in faith, in obedience, in decision-making. Go further. He called you. You're chosen. Number one, we can go further. God doesn't wait until you're ready. He grows you as you go. And today, I feel like maybe some leaders listening to this, whether you're a father, mother, son, daughter, husband, wife, maybe you're single, maybe you have a small business, maybe you're a team leader, maybe you form part of some team. How many times have you disqualified yourself? Come on, how many times have you disqualified yourself? I know I disqualified myself many times in my mind. I'm like, I shouldn't be part of this. I'm not ready. I can't do this. There's no way. until you start and you wait and you listen and you're like, he chose me. Come on, we can be leaders who thrive because he chose us. Number one, you can go further when you understand that. Number two, you can reach farther. You can reach farther. Travel light and trust big. Travel light and trust big. This is a leadership truth I want you to know. Leaders who cling to safety never change the world. Leaders who cling to safety never change the world. It says that Jesus sent them without a backup plan. Jesus sent them without excess. Jesus sent them without control. The crazy God leaders stretch farther than they feel capable because they trust God's provision. Today, you can reach farther, way farther than you've been reaching. Today, you can take some risk in your leadership roles. Today, maybe call a family meeting and write down some big goals. Today, think about your leadership qualities and say, you know what? I may not have the whole list, but he still chose me. That means I'm going to trust him with everything else. I can reach farther because God is with me. Application, what can we do? For example, you just don't serve, you disciple. You just don't parent, you pastor your kids. You just don't attend, you invite people with you. You just don't give, you sacrifice, right? It's just a different type of perspective. I'm not just a parent, I'm a pastor. Why? Because God has chosen me. And when you do, you reach further. I now understand that because God has called me, I can go further and I can reach farther. I want to reach big goals. I want to go after a lot of things. I want to do all that God has given me because he's called me and he's chosen. This literally changes my perspective. I now can be a pastor or a leader that sees different because I understand he chose me. What's the farther that God is asking of you? Does that mean better with your generosity, better with your service, better at evangelism, better at obedience? Today you can reach much farther. When's the last time, I was with Pastor Cash Luna recently at a conference, and he says, when's the last time you did something by faith? Because now so many of us are supplied with so many things that we don't need faith. When's the last time you reach farther where you need faith in your life? Reach farther. Trust God. Believe that he wants to be with you. Can you believe he chose you? Because he chose you and I can go further, I can reach farther. Today, I don't know where you are at in your leadership life, in your leadership capacity, but grow that capacity, stretch that capacity, and say, God has called me. He's a crazy God. In spite of my flaws, in spite of the things that I don't have, in spite of the areas where I may not be the best, in spite of the areas where I feel like I constantly mess up, he chose me. I am chosen, and this changes everything. That means I can go farther, I can reach farther, and number three, I can see bigger. I can see bigger. You were given a kingdom assignment. In Matthew chapter 10, verse 7, it says, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Right? The kingdom of heaven is at hand. Small vision produces small faith. Kingdom vision produces courage. Small vision produces small faith. Kingdom vision produces courage. God is crazy enough to see more in you than you see in yourself. That's something that I had to understand. God is crazy enough to see more in me than I saw in myself. We have a crazy God. He sees my potential. He sees things that I could never have seen. He sees my calling. He sees my end before my beginning. He knows where I can go. He knows what I can do. He knows what I'm capable of. He knows all my talents, all my qualities. He knows the things that I'm not seeing. I don't see talent. I don't see any of that. I don't know what you're not seeing, but God sees it all. And he calls you and he chooses you. So that means you can go further, you can reach farther, and you can see bigger. Today, maybe you're a leader that needs to expand your vision. Maybe today, I don't know if you've ever gotten a big perspective of things, but I remember last year we were in Georgia, up somewhere around the Blue Ridge Mountains. We had taken a vacation and went up on the mountains and just had a few days up there. We love the mountains and cabins and all that. And there was this one scenic highway that you can take up in the mountains. And somewhere up in that highway, you can stop and park to the side. And there's this one area where you have this massive vision of all the mountains. You have this beautiful view of all the mountains. And I remember we pulled over and we got off and must have been there, 20, 30 minutes, just looking at this great expanse I mean, it just seemed like for miles and miles, there was mountains and mountains. What about if we see our life like that? What about if for a moment you can take a 30,000 foot view of your life and just think, what is God capable of doing in my life? I know you don't see it right now. I know there's moments in my life where I don't see it. But what about if we see bigger? What about if we like, God, expand my vision? God, expand my view. Give me a bigger perspective. I know I can't. I know me in my flesh, in my human deficiencies. I can't see all that you can do with me, but help me see like you can see. You are the crazy God. How can God pick Peter? Peter was a coward. Peter betrayed Jesus not once, not twice, but 3 times. Why pick him to be on your team? If I was the coach, I would never pick Peter to be on my basketball team. He's a coward. The ball will go to him and he'll drop it. He won't shoot the basket. In fact, if he shoots the basket, it'll be for the other team. But yet he picks him. Why? Because God sees much more than we see. And so God, help me to see my life with you, your eyes. Help me to see my life through your vision, right? That way I can go further, reach farther, and see bigger. How come he picked John and James? He picks crazy people, hot-tempered people, but yet he's able to change them through process. I know you're looking at your now, but you don't see your then. Get this mountain view of your life. Look miles and miles. Look 10 years down the road. Look 20 years down the road. You may be hot-tempered, ill-tempered now. 20 years from now, you might be the disciple of love the way John was, because God could change your life. God sees the end from the beginning. Today, see bigger. See beyond your today. See beyond your title. I know somebody who started cleaning a McDonald's. I know somebody that started literally frying the fries. And today they own, I think it's 5 or 6 McDonald's. I know you know stories like that. I know stories like that. Personal stories, personal people we know. Right? See beyond your title. Today you may just be an employee. Tomorrow you may be the employer. Today may be a small business. Tomorrow may be a Fortune 500 company. Today you may be single. The day of tomorrow you may have 10 kids. See beyond your title. See beyond your now. See what's happening in your workplace and say, tomorrow can we become a bigger company with 10 locations and 20 locations and service and help people all over the world. See transformation in you and in people and in your kids and your family. You need to see bigger. God didn't choose you for a task. He chose you for his kingdom. You weren't chosen because you were good enough. You were chosen because God is gracious enough. So 3 things here today. Stop disqualifying yourself. Stop disqualifying yourself. Sometimes our words get in the way. Our words get in the way. Today, how are you speaking about your life? Stop disqualifying yourself. Today, maybe wherever you're at, if you're capable, why don't you close your eyes for a second and say, I'm chosen. I'm chosen. Come on, repeat that with me. Say, I am chosen. God chose me. He chose me. Speak that over your life every morning, every night. I am chosen. I may not have chosen myself, but he chose me. I am chosen. Number 1, stop disqualifying yourself. Number 2, start leading with faith. So because he chose me, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go farther. I'm going to reach farther, and I'm going to see bigger, right? Because he chose me. I'm going to believe that I can have big goals and big dreams and big visions. He chose me. Why not? Why not? I'm just going to believe he chose me. I'm going to have all of the qualities. I may not be the best. I may not have X, Y, and Z, but I'm just going to believe he chose me. He chose me. I didn't look for this. He chose me. And number 3, commit fully. Commit fully. Today, commit yourself fully, and that'll change your life. Today, you weren't called to survive. You were called to thrive, and you can thrive when you realize a crazy God chose you. We serve a crazy God, and because we serve a crazy God, you can be a great leader. You can be a great leader because he chose you. And if you change yourself, you can change your world.